When I first started building my salons, I struggled with training. It felt like I was reinventing the wheel every time I hired someone new, and it was exhausting. But everything changed when I created a real system for onboarding and education. That's why I built the Salon Success System, so you don't have to figure it all out the hard way like I did. If you want proven tools, templates, and strategies that help your stylist succeed and take the stress off your plate, then check out the show notes for the link. Let's make training the best part of your business. Have you ever walked into a salon excited for an interview, only to leave with a gut feeling that something just wasn't right? You couldn't put your finger on it, but everything in you said, run. Today, we're talking about those red flags that signal a toxic workplace before you ever say yes to the job. Welcome to All About Hair, where we talk shop, share stories, and spill the secrets behind great hair and a great career. I'm your host, Denise Keilitz, a former salon owner, educator, and a lifelong hair crusader. Whether you're a new stylist building your book or just someone who loves learning about all things hair, you're in the right place. The beauty industry is filled with passion, creativity, and incredible opportunities, but it's also, sadly, known for burnout, blurred boundaries, and environments that don't value people the way they should. A toxic salon culture can drain your energy, hurt your confidence, and stall your growth. And the worst part, these places often look great on paper until you walk in the doors. But spotting a toxic workplace isn't always easy, especially when you're eager to get hired, start making money, or desperate to leave a current bad situation. You might overlook vague job descriptions, dismiss disrespectful interviewers, or excuse poor communication because you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's break down where those red flags can start showing up and what they might be trying to tell you. First, let's talk about job description red flags. When they say, we wear a lot of hats around here, or no 2 days are the same, this often means they don't have any structure and you're on your own. Pay attention to that. Another red flag for job descriptions, that you have senior level responsibilities for junior pay. That's a sign that they're under-resourced and over-demanding. Say you're going in for a front desk position and it pays minimum wage. Yeah, I don't think I would go there. Another red flag, no salary or benefits are listed. They're likely avoiding some kind of accountability or hiding pay inequality. Or they could be paying you under the table. Something just doesn't feel right there. If they're not listing how you're getting paid, you need to start asking some questions. If they use buzzwords like fast-paced, rock star, or we're like a family, this can actually translate to say you're expected to hustle hard and sacrifice boundaries. I really don't like it when salons say we're like a family here, because that's not fair. You can't fire your family. You're a team and it's a workplace. So it should be ran like one. So red flag. And if you see a salon that they're always posting, that they're always hiring, I like that. I think salons should always be hiring. I love it. However, but if they're always posting, like you see it online, you see paid ads, that's not a sign of growth. It's a sign that people don't stick around. So keep your eyes open for that, because if they're going through stylists left and right, there's probably a culture problem there. And if they don't mention any kind of training or education, especially if you're straight out of school, this is what you should be looking for, is some kind of education. This just means that they're not invested in your growth, and you're probably seen as replaceable. More than likely, though, it means that they just don't have it together. They might really want to offer education, and they might have the best intentions of doing so, but they just don't have it written down. That's where I come in. Hello. I do have my Salon Success course, and it's a 3-month training program that gets stylists straight out of school to behind the chair with confidence in 3 months. If you are working at a place that does not have education, or you think that they have a disorganized education system, tell your salon owner about this. Or if you're a salon owner and you're looking for something so you don't have to map it out, this is so great. I use this whole system in my salons very, very successfully. The link's in the show notes. Go grab it there. If you need more information, let me know. All right, let's get on to interview red flags. So you're sitting at the interview. You've walked into this new space. The salon looks great. So you're sitting down. You're asking questions. Remember, you're there to interview them too. They're not just interviewing you. So here's some red flags during the interview process. Number 1, they dodge questions about team structure or how people advance. This could mean that they don't have a career path set up. You really need to know how you can advance in their salon. You're not just there cutting hair. This is a career, remember? Another red flag is the person interviewing you shows up late, they check their phone consistently, or they interrupt you when you're asking questions. If they're like that in the interview process, imagine what they're going to be like when you're working for them. Very, very disrespectful. One interviewer says one thing, another says something else. If you're in the interview process and you sit down with one interviewer and they tell you one thing, the next person comes in and they tell you something else. We used to have where you would interview with different people. So say you would interview with a manager, then you would interview with one of the lead stylists because they are coming at it from a different angle. Then you would interview with me, the owner. And if those 3 people are saying different things, you probably want to look elsewhere because that's a recipe for confusion and conflict. And obviously there's some communication problems going on. Or maybe the interviewer asks inappropriate questions, like they cannot ask your age, your religion, or your family plans. They can't ask you if you're pregnant or if you intend to be pregnant or if you're married. They can't ask you that. That's illegal. Big, big red flag. If they say culture fit, but they can't even describe what their culture is, I would be a little hesitant to work there because culture is a big word these days. Everybody says, oh, our culture is so great, our culture. Well, it takes a lot of work to have a nice and a great culture. And if they say culturally fit, hey, you don't want to belong to a Mean Girls Club, okay? Just saying. How about if you're in the interview and you're rushed through with no time for your own questions? Wow, that doesn't feel good because you're there to interview them too. So make sure you come with questions already written down and you're ready to go. And then also ask about turnover or morale. And if you ask about that and they get very vague or they have very defensive answers, that's a huge red flag. Say you're taking the job and they're going to make you the offer to work there. If you're asked to start without anything in writing, no contract, no clarity, I might want to reconsider. You might want to have something in writing, even if it's an email. You need something in writing that has when you're starting, what your pay is going to be, maybe if there's benefits, the expectations, and something in there that says, hey, in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, I don't know, everybody's different, that you're going to look at this again. You're going to review this. It's going to be a process. You need something like that in writing before you start. We used to bring people on to do a shadow day. That's what we'd call it. A shadow day is just really basically you're coming into the salon for a couple hours. maybe. And what we want is to just see how you're going to interact with people. See how you're going to interact with the other team members. See if you ask questions. See if you show up looking sharp. See if you show up on time. It's usually no more than a couple of hours, but that's really what we were looking for. We weren't looking for you to do anything. You might go in there with a model. That's happened before. We've asked people to come in with a model, maybe do a haircut or a blow dry. If we were, a little not suspicious, but questioning the skill set. So say somebody says they're a master stylist, whatever that means in these days. We kind of want to see that in action because believe it or not, I have hired somebody before that said they were a master stylist at a salon that I knew of, and I knew what that meant. And I didn't go through this trial run, and they were awful. They were awful. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. So even if you, as a salon owner, if you're feeling pretty confident in their word, and as salon owners, I don't know. I know I'm not the only one out there, but I feel like I want to save everybody. Anybody with a passion for our industry, I want to hire them. And after a while, my team said I was no longer allowed to hire the stylist because I just wanted to bring in everybody. I just love it. However, if you're going to tell the interviewer that you know a certain skill, you better be able to provide that. So they might ask you to come in for shadowing, but if they ask you to come in and do trial work that looks kind of like real unpaid labor, like you're actually blow drying clients or shampooing clients or rinsing color or anything like that, that's not okay. You need to be paid for that. Okay. Another red flag in the offer stage before you sign anything, if they ask for any personal data before you've signed anything, like your bank account information, your social security card, anything like that, no. You do not give that to them until you sign something that says you've made me an offer and I've agreed to it. If the start dates are fuzzy or they don't have any kind of onboarding, that is a big red flag. Again, if you're struggling, if you're a salon owner or if you work in a salon and they don't have onboarding, my salon success system over there has it spelled out in writing from first day, first week, first month, and first 3 months, what the expectations are. So again, the link is in the show notes. Here's a big red flag. What if you Google them and you see high turnover reviews online? That's a big red flag. Or maybe you see reviews on Google and it says something like customer service is terrible, or I don't know. Check them out. Do your due diligence and really investigate before you decide. And if you're pressured to decide quickly, like within 24 hours, or if you're guilted for saying, hey, we want you to start today, tomorrow, something like that, that's a red flag. Nobody needs to start within 24 hours. Okay, you can take your time and decide if it's the right place for you. Ask more questions if you want to. And if they say anything like, oh, we don't really do time off here, come on now. You know that you probably run out the door. People have to have personal time off. I mean, a lot of salons these days are actually going towards all the personal time off you need as long as the clients are taken care of. I know a lot of salon owners are doing it that way. Everybody's different these days, especially after COVID. So here's the solution. So you've gone through the interview. Maybe you've seen a couple of these red flags. Listen to your gut, but also get strategic, okay? Before you say yes, you need to ask the right questions. Have your questions written down before you go to the interview. What are you going to ask them? Are you going to ask them about the education system? Are you going to ask them about their time off policy, vacation pay, maybe the benefits? Do they have a 401k? Do they pay for your education if you do outside education? Anything like that. What's the dress code? What's the expectations in the first 30 days? What's the pre-booking or retail sales numbers? Or what are you expected to do or target or benchmark to move your career path up. And also take a look at their career path. You want to know what it is. What's the potential of working in that environment? Do your research. Google them. Look at them on Facebook. Look at them on Instagram. Look at them. Just Google them for reviews. Talk to current or past employees if you can. If you know somebody who's worked at that salon, reach out to them and say, hey, I was thinking about working here. What do you think? What was your experience? And look at how you felt after each interaction. Were they excited to see you? Did you feel seen and heard and important? Or was it like an uncertain kind of, feeling that you were feeling? Did you feel small? Did they make you feel like you were invisible? Because goodness gosh, if that's happening before the interview process, what is it going to be when you start working there? Just get in your mind that you are not being too sensitive. You're not asking for too much. You're just asking for a safe, respectful, and growth-centered space, which is the bare minimum of what you deserve. The salon that you work at should be the place you want to be and the place that you feel respected and safe. So finding the right salon, it might take a few tries, but knowing these red flags can really help you avoid soul-sucking jobs, because we've all had those, and land somewhere that truly aligns with your values, where you're treated like a human, where your work is seen, where you can shine, and help your clients shine too. If this episode gave you some clarity or confidence, click the link in the show notes. Make sure that your salon owner or yourself check out my salon success system. I also have, if you go over to my website, I have a few free downloads that as a stylist that you can download. One is on color mastery and the other one is the foundational skills that you need as a brand new stylist. Go over there, check it out, download it. Good information. Just remember, go into your interview, positive attitude, do your research, have your questions down, look the part, walk in there, chin up, proud that you're in this industry and you have a lot to offer. Even if you're brand new, you have a lot to offer. Your curiosity, your passion, your will-do attitude. And you pick this industry. I say it all the time. We are in the best industry ever. So always remember, when you know better, you do better. And I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to All About Hair. If you loved this episode, hit subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with a fellow stylist or hair-loving friend. You want more tips, tools, and behind-the-scenes goodness? Follow me on YouTube or head to my website at denisekailitz.com. Yes, I know it's hard to spell, so don't worry, the link is in the show notes. Until next time, keep learning, keep creating, and keep loving what you do. I keep hearing the number one challenge for salon owners is hiring staff. Where are they? The seasoned stylists are renting a suite or going out on their own booth rental. So where you got to go? You got to go to the schools, right? You got to get those brand new stylists right out of school. But wow, how are you going to bring them up to speed? Are you a salon owner struggling with this? Do you feel overwhelmed by the task of training, mentoring, and tracking performance while you still run the salon or work behind the chair? You're not alone, and there's a better way. I have a brand new download. It is free. It is called the Ultimate In-Salon Training Toolkit, and is designed specifically to help salon owners like you create a structured, stress-free training program that will transform new hires into confident, high-performing professionals. This step-by-step guide will take the guesswork out of training, giving you everything you need to onboard your new stylist with confidence. I will leave a link in the show notes. You can also go over to my website and snag it at denisekailitz.com. It's totally free. Go get your copy today.